I think this is a more realistic layout for what the this island and this island are on the same plane. It's just flat.
You still understand the magnitude of the lies that would have to be happening.
That's not a good reason
work
for
the ISS every day. Do you know how many people?
Do you know what the collective consciousness is? God can raise and lower the collective consciousness at will, okay? We're not exactly a discerning bunch right now. We are easily fooled, and it's because our consciousness is lowered. Eastern religions predicted the age of Pisces would be the lowest level of consciousness. So we've missed the big thing about this place, and we're gonna figure out what it is, the big thing, the free energy. Do you guys have an azimuthal equidistant map?
I think so. So if you looked at some of the distances between places in the southern hemisphere,
Right.
and you looked at the plane times that it took to get from there to there, it wouldn't make sense relative to the plane times that it takes to get from there to there.
I don't know if this map is correct. I don't believe in the flat, or I don't believe in the ball in any sense of the word. So I think this map has something to do with our reality.
If the Earth were flat, you should be able to have a map that represents everything in the right shape, the right size, the right distances, and the right areas.
Okay.
And since that's not possible, then it must not be flat. This is not an equal area projection. This is an equal distant from the North Pole projection.
Right. So it is a projection. So it's not spanning the entire map. You know, I feel like the only way to map this thing completely, right, is to make a map the exact size of the flat Earth. You have a ball. You say it's a ball. Is that thing perfect? Well, what are the issues with the globe? I mean, even like in terms of size of continents and things, are those all the best accurate representations?
They're very accurate, yes.
Now, why does a guy going out in a ship not bring a globe with him? Somebody who wants to have the best model representation of the stuff he's just about to traverse, I feel like the globe would have to be our most accurate model if this Earth is a ball, right?
Well,
but nobody uses
it. If you're doing navigation, you want to have a lot of detail.
Right.
So you want to zoom in a lot. And once you zoom in a lot, it's impractical to have a globe because the globe would be as big as the ship to zoom in that much. Whereas if you get a very small piece of the Earth on a flat map, you can represent it fairly accurately. Because the Earth is so large that a very big section of the Earth is pretty flat, because as you grow a sphere extremely large and you take a small section of it, there's not that much curvature in a very small proportional section.
They say 8 inches per mile squared. That's the amount of drop there should be from this point to this point. If this is 10 miles, it should be 66.6 feet of drop.
Okay.
If it's 100 miles, it's 6,666 feet.
That's
right.
Using
Their math. I tend to think that a ball should have the same amount of curve for any two equidistant points. So I don't quite get how it all works.
Oh, that's because, here, I can actually show you that. So here's your point. And if you do equal distances this way, see the amount of drop to here is hardly noticeable. Out here it's quite a bit more, and then another step it's even more than that.
Right.
And another step beyond that it's even more. So that's why it's more per the same unit of distance as you get further away.
Yeah.
Because the curve is, the angle of the curve gets steeper.
It is a steeper angle.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. So, okay, well, I'll give them their math. You can have your math, and...
Wait, so the Earth is flat around?
It's flat. Show me that this curvature actually exists. No one is able to do that. Even geodetic surveyors use over 12 curvature corrections. Why would it need corrections if it is actually curved? To me, it seems like they measure flat land, and then they throw their math around it and say, okay, it did that. Well, I don't buy it, you know? The only test that anyone has ever done to prove curvature, that water curves, is Stephen Hawking and his Discovery Channel crew. And they went out on a boat and they shot a laser, and the laser hit up higher on the boat the further out they went. Now, now, to me, is that science? No, that's one person doing one experiment with big money behind it. That to me is not science. If science is the repeated experiment done by multiple bodies, and no one else has gone out and done that, and the reason they don't do it is because it wouldn't really happen. Many flat earthers have gone out and shot lasers across lakes, frozen lakes, and they have all come up to the same conclusion that that water does not curve.
That's because it's too tiny amount of the Earth to show the curvature.
But okay, so our idea was we have a very bright flashlight, and we are going to shine it from Bainbridge Island to Alkide Beach, 9.4 miles, and then we're going to have the laser down here. And if a camera 2 feet off the ground can see that laser, then there's no way the Earth is curving, because at 9.4 miles, there should be 58 feet of curvature.
You hadn't done this experiment.
Well, my friend John the Baptist, who was going to baptize me in the flat waters, decided to dodge me yesterday. So we haven't found anybody that is willing to go over to Bainbridge Island and shine a light for us. Yeah. So
See what happens when you do.
we're trying to find it, yeah.